A glowing banking screen fills the garage wall with $750 million. You stand among unstarted supercars beneath a silent concrete ceiling. A banker waits by the open door with a sealed folder. You stop choosing single prizes and circle an entire field. Your thumb scrolls a glossy auction catalog across a black tablet. You tap the forgotten lot with a bare finger. The auction house floor waits under floodlights beside a raised rostrum. You circle the rostrum in red ink for every club bidder. Club chairmen queue before the registration desk with zipped folders. An auction clerk lowers his voice behind a glass booth. You watch bidder paddles hang from brass hooks. You watch the Academy scout study the lot sheet without blinking. A founder's heir opens the staff entrance with a chipped fob. You follow the heir through a corridor of framed transfer photos. A torn crest hangs above the old valuation room. You pass a row of silent phones in the agent's lounge. The heir lifts a dust sheet from the auctioneer's chair. You see club badges pinned across a cork wall. A receptionist's sleeve slides bidder forms through a scratched slot. Club chairmen lower their chins above sealed folders. You knock twice on the cold service hatch. The service hatch opens onto the transfer compliance office. You inspect rubber stamps beside player registration files. You watch a finance director's cuff tremble over the reserve price ledger. The heir points at the broadcast rights cabinet. You step into a booth used for sealed club bids. A brass plaque names defunct teams above a broken printer. You drag a finger from bidder desk to league stamp. The Academy scout taps a forgotten town on the player map. A kid assistant's glove carries archive shirts through the aisle. You pause before the bolted ticket office safe. The heir turns away from the silent combination dial. You enter the director's viewing box above the auction floor. Hospitality glass reflects empty rows of bidder chairs. You open a drawer packed with unsigned sponsorship templates. A legal clerk stacks club deeds beside a cracked lamp. The founder's heir keeps both hands off the rostrum. You pull the database terminal toward your chair. The room goes still beneath the broadcast gantry. You lay a tactics board across the auction counter. Transfer paperwork covers the magnetic discs. You sign the deed across a taped corner. Banded matchday takings sag in canvas bags on the tactics board. The contract screen shows $620 million beside your name. The seller's hand stops above the pen. You keep the pen moving through the final page. The founder's heir steps back from the auctioneer's chair. A clerk removes the old crest from the rostrum. You place your emblem above the bidder entrance. Club chairmen stare at the new mark without speaking. The registration desk receives your stamp before sunrise. You lock the agent's lounge with a metal access card. The Academy scout pins Academy routes beneath your emblem. A turnstile operator delivers counter slips to your office. You open the transfer database on the compliance terminal. Bidder paddles reappear with your crest on each face. You stamp the first club lot at the single approval window. A rival broker folds his catalog beside the aisle. The auction clock freezes above the rostrum. You restart the auction clock with your code. The first lower division chairman approaches your glass booth. You slide a blank bidder paddle across the counter. The chairman's fingers hover over your crest. A clerk seals the first club file with red wax. Your emblem glows above the auction house floor. The cup tie ends under rain, with your badge bright on the scoreboard. You lift the winning scarf from a wet director's rail. A rival ticket hall sits dark behind chained shutters. You knock twice on a chilled steel player's entrance. Supporters leave flowers at the old main stand. You pin new matchday prices beside the season ticket hatch. A steward's glove lowers the away barrier before sunrise. You replace the peeling sign above the northern gate. The town paper prints your badge across its back page. You open the ticket safe, packed with banded matchday takings. A cashier's sleeve cannot close the swollen drawer. You place scanners at every broken entry lane. Rain beads on a repaired floodlight pylon. You send roofers across the leaking terrace. A groundskeeper's wrist guides fresh paint along the touchline. You buy the neighboring Milltown side before Derby Week. Their boardroom nameplate lands face down in a cardboard box. You hang your colors over the canal end stand. A coach's thumb presses play on new match clips. You take the seaside rival after fog swallows the promenade. Their mascot head rests alone in an empty kit room. You reroute youth trials into your county calendar. A school gym fills with bibbed children before dusk. You sign the miners' welfare ground under sleet. A volunteer's cap turns toward your arriving convoy. You bolt new lights above the shale car park. The old supporters bar goes quiet when you enter. You fold the market town side into your match network. A tea urn steams beside fresh membership forms. You fund a futsal hall near the ring road. A PE teacher's whistle hangs still against his jacket. You plant scouting nights across the county map. A parent grips a boot bag outside the sports dome. You buy the Cathedral City women's side before winter training. Their captain's armband lies ready in your colors. You reopen the dormant reserve pitch beyond the allotments. A grounds crew's boots sink into thawing mud. You place GPS vests in every county session. An analyst's cursor tracks sprint lines on frozen footage. You buy the bus depot ground beside the bypass. A mechanic's hand removes a rival sticker from the minibus. You install a shirt printing press behind the megastore. Steam rises from your new name on home shirts. You take the Riverport Stadium after a closed supporters vote. A chairman's cuff trembles above a surrendered keyring. You move hospitality deposits into locked drawers behind reception. Velvet ropes sag under envelopes from corporate boxes. A finance director's pen stops above the deposit book. You buy the regional hub with snow on the roof. The broadcast gantry fills with cameras bearing your badge. You place your mark on the women's dressing room door. A physio's wrist stacks ice packs beside new recovery tubs. You fund the hub's training canteen before preseason. Steam clouds the windows over trays of player meals. You sign the city sponsor across the sleeve patch. A hotel lobby hushes around an agent's buzzing phone. You buy the stadium lease from the council chamber. The mayor's folder closes under your black glove. You turn concerts into summer dates on the pitch calendar. A stage crew measures the penalty area under tarpaulins. You seize the neighboring top youth route through school partnerships. A head teacher's lanyard swings above your registration tablet. You build a dormitory wing beside floodlit grass. Rain streaks the windows over neat rows of boots. You place a loan map inside the recruitment suite. Colored pins spread from the hub to coastal towns. You buy the promoted provincial side before broadcast day. A VAR monitor glows beside your sleeve sponsor. You seat broadcasters beneath the new media canopy. A commentator's headset rests beside your match notes. You sign a shirt front deal across the Capitol Derby. LED boards flash your colors around the penalty arc. You take the national training base supplier at dawn. A warehouse forearm drags rivals' kit hampers off the loading bay. You move premium takings through the concourse cash cage. Armored guards wheel bulging canvas sacks past pie kiosks. You buy the Capitol top flight side after spring hail. Its trophy cabinet reflects your badge in polished silver. You place your director in the league commercial committee. A room of owners hushes around the long table. You secure preseason rights for the national champion. A tour bus idles beneath your wrapped stadium banner. You buy the data partner feeding every recruitment desk. Database screens glow with player heat maps in your colors. You absorb the broadcast platform beside the media compound. Satellite dishes tilt toward your scheduled match window. You take the betting board partner outside the main league. Odds panels switch to your sponsor frame at kickoff. You buy the cup venue before the final draw. Ground staff roll pitch covers under April rain. You open the boardroom table to fresh player contracts. Agents' phones buzz together along the hotel carpet. You sign the striker everyone expected abroad. A rival manager stares at an untouched press microphone. You place the striker on the national broadcast trailer. Children wear your shirt at a service station cafe. You buy the second division powerhouse under flood warnings. Their old sponsor tarp slides from the main facade. You install your playing model on the tactics board. Magnetic discs snap into identical patterns across training rooms. You take the coastal satellite ground for loan minutes. A young fullback boards your branded minibus at dawn. You buy the mountain town side for winter fixtures. Snow gathers on scarves outside the away end barrier. You place women's fixtures on the central broadcast slate. A goalkeeper's taped fingers tighten inside a bright dressing room. You buy the regional ticketing company before renewal week. Season card printers spit your badge onto plastic stacks. You take the stadium caterer serving every concourse queue. A cook's sleeve lifts pies into branded warming cabinets. You buy the security contractor before derby policing. Control room monitors show your colors at every segregation fence. You send inspectors through rival training sites. Empty boot racks line a dark visitor's changing room. You buy the promotion favorite before the playoff draw. Their rival's sales desk closes with unsold scarves inside. You place your broadcast truck outside the national final. Cable coils cover the wet tarmac beside your generator. You take the league licensing agency before kit launch. A sleeve patch sample rests under your approval lamp. You sign the stadium naming package across the biggest roof. Letters rise on cranes above packed lower tiers. You buy the referee data supplier through a closed tender. A headset technician labels cases with your match code. You take the National Cup sponsor after midnight calls. The trophy plinth turns toward your backdrop before dawn. You put your badge on every match graphic. Score bugs bloom in your colors across pub televisions. You buy the airline partner for preseason tours. A boarding pass shows your team name at the gate. You acquire the hotel chain housing visiting squads. Room key sleeves carry your fixture art at reception. You take the medical provider beside the national camp. A surgeon's gloved hand checks scans under your watermark. You buy the rights agency selling overseas highlights. Editing bays glow with your logo beside every replay. You take the flagship Brazilian target in humid dusk. Vila Belmiro opens under floodlights and sea air. A Santos kitman's hand folds your sleeve patch onto white cotton. You leave a branded ball on the center spot. You circle Europe with a loan manager's map on the jet table. A Rotterdam tunnel worker peels old decals from concrete in rain. You sign Feyenoord's feeder agreement inside a canal-side director's room. You bolt Lisbon locker tags above boots drying under heaters. Benfica's scouting route enters your database before sunrise. A scout's thumb pins Madeira school reports under a red magnet. You unlock Porto's loan corridor with a handshake beside the river. Hamburg fog hides stevedores carrying crate lids marked with your crown. You take a minority seat in St. Pauli's Community Hall. A steward's cap rests under your emblem near the turnstiles. You merge Antwerp's data room with your analyst cloud. You install Genk laptops under a canteen roof tapping with snow. A Belgian futsal hall opens beside a shuttered mill. You stamp your trial pass through a coach's cold wrist. You open Zurich work permit lanes with a lawyer's blue folder. Alpine rain streaks a bench bearing your metal plaque. You acquire Salzburg's pressing syllabus from a consultant's locked drawer. A Vienna agent lowers his phone when your car arrives. You place Prague under your scouting grid with one signed folder. A Sparta caretaker sweeps confetti from seats under frozen mist. You buy Warsaw's development campus beside apartment blocks. The guard room hushes over CCTV monitors wearing your watermark. You claim Copenhagen's analytics studio through a midnight share swap. Baltic wind rattles Malmo turnstiles newly painted with your crown. You take Helsinki's indoor dome for winter minutes. A groundskeeper's boot drags slush from artificial turf. You tap cold metal twice on a Stockholm service door. Inside Oslo's finance office, hospitality deposits crowd a locked cabinet. You lift a canvas bag of concourse cash onto green baize. You watch a cashier's cuff tremble beside banded notes. Marseille's portside club changes hands through a shipping magnate's exit. Mistral wind snaps your flag above a blue away end barrier. You secure Lyon's women's side with a signed changing room wall. A captain's armband hangs from your peg under strip lights. You enter Turin through a debt note in a marble lobby. The banker stops speaking beside a trophy cabinet. You absorb Milan's medical lab with a cold equipment tag. A physio's forearm lowers a shin into ice water. You take Naples' dormitory lease during thunder. Laundry carts roll past your doorway in blue steam. You purchase Athens' Derby steak through a ferry owner's envelope. The social club goes quiet around a cracked microphone. You receive Istanbul share certificates from Bosphorus lawyers. A police control room dims over your fixture grid. You buy Cairo's scouting school near desert floodlights. Dust coats a minibus roof bearing your emblem. You sign Johannesburg's high-altitude campus under summer lightning. A nutritionist's hand stacks GPS vests beside orange cones. You take Seoul's commercial agency through a video wall. Neon rain mirrors your shirt advert across a crosswalk. You acquire Melbourne's summer tournament office beside the docks. A promoter's lanyard drops onto your contract stack. You buy Los Angeles's content studio near freeway lights. A Singapore rights desk stamps your global fixture package. You seat your delegate at a Geneva commercial committee table. A neon calendar office pins your kickoff slots under a black clip. Scorebugs in Tokyo pubs carry your crown above penalty replays. You hand the command suite controls to your grown successor. A sales circular values your football group at $30 billion. A packed mega arena glows under floodlights with your mark ringing roof to pitch.